We live?
Looks like the connection is excellent.
Of course it is, because we're excellent. And welcome to the second excellent edition of the Triple Option live stream mailbag edition, copyright registered trademark copyright 2021. I'm here. We're live. I'm live. Kevin's live. Adam's the livest. It's the three live crew. Boys, say what's up to the live people.
What's up, one live person?
There'll be more. There'll be more. They replicate. They replicate. You guys talk while I do so. I send out the super cool live link to people.
When I drop this thing
Kill
into
some
the old Game
time.
Day Discord, it's going to blow up.
Oh yeah, like a bomb, DJ Clue bomb. Kevin, start talking while I'm doing some stuff.
Well, I am also doing some stuff, so I don't know if I can be much help on the talking front.
I'm motherfucking fired up for some spring ball to start.
So am I.
I am not ashamed.
Well, that's good. This is as always a no shame show. But I'm hyped. Day number 1's tomorrow, right, boys?
hmm
Yeah, it is. It starts up this week.
Adam,
What's up?
what's your most like the position battle that you're looking forward to the most?
Oh, I mean, everybody's going to say, "Ooh, quarterback." That ain't going to be a battle,
I knew
unfortunately.
you wouldn't. You're not one of those basic biatches. I knew you wouldn't say
No,
that.
no. I think it's going to be D-back. Really. I mean, I think D-back's going to be. There's a ton of bodies. They brought in a bunch of guys. Let's see how it gets figured out. Who's going to play where? They've got a lot of guys that think that Snoop Dogg. What?
I have no idea who this guy is.
Snoop a Loop.
What?
What's
It's
up?
got to be the real guy. Listen, Mackenzie Milton's family, some guy that hates the way I look. I forget his name. I'm sure he's famous. And now Snoop Dogg. It's the All-Star game.
Snoop Dogg is
okay?
gone. I don't know who
Come
that
on,
is.
Snoop a Loop.
Oh,
We're
dude.
going streaking.
Well, who's the other guy? The Fiddle Griddle? I want him to come back, or somebody else that's
Yeah.
named after both a musical instrument and and an appliance and a cooking utensil. That'd be fun.
You sent out the Zoom link, Trey. That's why.
Oh shoot! Oh no! Don't hop on Don't hop on this.
Oh, that's
Delete.
that's slap dick right there.
Oh no! Are there like people trying to get on?
Oh, Poppy.
There.
Hey,
Hey,
Poppy.
Poppy. Hold on, hold on. You're gonna get the old boot. We're gonna send the YouTube link out.
Listen, I copied what was in there. I don't know what's going on. This is already clown shoes.
This is awesome. I can't wait to just sit here and have to remove all these people from our...
Oh
Well,
my
delete
God.
that Zoom link real quick.
I did.
Please.
I delete. Oh God. Well, dude, I can't do like all this stuff at once. This is just ridiculous.
You're telling me, man.
So, hey, you know what? Tell somebody in Tomahawk Nation to send out the link. Okay, they're our parent company. Just tell them to do it.
I
We're the
put-
talent.
you-
I don't have time for technical issues.
I put the YouTube link in our Slack, but I put the Zoom link in like the Slack between us, but then I put the YouTube link in Tomahawk Nation, the whole Slack.
Well, tell one of them to do it because I'm going to start answering questions.
I just
I'm
did. I
ready
just
to
did.
go.
I got this. I got
I know
this.
you
all
do.
right?
You know what? I wouldn't be able to do anything if you guys weren't here. You're like
I'm
my
a-
wife. Like I'm useless without my wife. I'm useless without my two film wives. Kevin, what's your position battle you're most looking forward to? Adam says secondary. I tend to agree. Change my mind.
So apparently it's lagging, and I might have
Pretty
just
badly.
accidentally closed out of it. So
Oh God. Did you change the settings like you did last time? I don't know. Like you tweak those things.
so yeah, it looks like the video is several minutes behind. So I pretty much got rid of everything I could, and as of now it's just the Zoom and the YouTube, and it's apparently having trouble with just that.
Are we live right now?
We are, but I think we are a solid few minutes behind.
That's okay.
All right. Well, is it watchable? Can the people watch? I mean, we're not doing any song and dance. We're just answering questions. So is it watchable, people?
It
So
looks
as of-
watchable. Like I have it on my phone. It looks fine.
Good. Well, let's go. Okay, Kevin, stop worrying about technical stuff. That's for nerds anyway, and I know you're not a nerd at heart. So let's talk some football, Kev.
Yeah, the
What
chemist
position
is
battle?
totally not.
Yeah, exactly. What position battle are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, since Adam took the obvious answer and honestly the answer I wanted,
What?
um, I
Yeah.
guess wide receiver. Wide receiver's an interesting one. Without Hill there, you're gonna have a little bit more room for guys to kind of stand up and get some reps before someone kind of potentially overshadows them based off what we saw from Hill's tape. But I want to see Burrell get in there. I think he's a solid receiver with good hands, got good size, and McLean, another big-bodied receiver. And so I think it'll be interesting to see the back and forth with a lot of those new guys.
I am equal parts intrigued and also terrified by how interested our fan base was in guys under 22 years old squatting on video. Like it was just, I mean, I get the excitement. They were throwing up big weights. There's a lot of you're a squat party VIP member, Adam Brown.
Are you kidding me? I was squatting right there with them. All right, I was in the living
Air
room. I was hitting the old
squats.
squats.
Super
What
excited
is
about it.
so you know this, guys? I mean, you're both football intelligent people. Is it what you saw in that video as far as the offseason workout program? And we've seen clips come out. We've seen weight fluctuations both up and down. I haven't seen a negative weight really yet. What's been your take on like the first full year of a Josh Storm strength and conditioning program, Adam?
Uh, yeah, look, I mean, we can't see everything.
Right.
We've heard bits and pieces, and it sounds like it's going great. Like I don't recall a time where we've seen that much energy in the weight room. Seemed like everybody's attending. You know, those are the things we can see on the surface. I mean, I wrote an article in Time Hawk Nation, kind of like,
There you go. Pimp your
you know,
work.
what's the whole culture thing and all that nonsense. Look, the word culture is like that's a great one. It's a buzzword to throw around. It's one people
Mhm.
love to toss out there. You can at least say that there's support in that weight room. They might not have worked hard. I don't, we've heard things that the guys are working hard and that they've been putting the time in this off season so far. And they're, we know that Milton is leading a lot of off field or off, out player led practices and stuff like that.
Right. Running routes, all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
the offense and defense. So we know that a lot of that stuff's going on, but it was just really cool to see guys supporting each other. I mean, when's the last time we really have kind of seen that outside of guys dancing on the field when DJ Matthews returned a punt, 3 years ago or whatever in practice? Like that's the last time I can recall guys like being excited. So it's cool to see them in the weight room being that excited. We'll see if it pays off. Culture doesn't equal wins, but it doesn't hurt to have. That's for sure.
I agree. I don't think the team has been this together since my boy Zaquandre 20 Wall Free Jack Boy was on the team, who is still a personal favorite of mine, Mr. Charisma. Now let's get to some of these questions. Guys, if you're watching on the live stream, send some live questions. We've already collected some from Twitter, which were all based around mid-90s pro wrestling. I'll handle those, gentlemen. Don't worry about that. And I'll leave the football stuff to you that came from our Discord. First question from Daigatsu. What do you expect the QB situation to look like after fall camp? Do you use multiple QBs, or do you see multiple QBs used, and how will they be used? Kevin, go.
Yeah, so definitely after fall camp, I would imagine you're going to have a starter set. I'd imagine that you're probably going to have a pretty good indication who's going to be the starter at the end of this spring season here. And so I think the bulk of the snaps are going to probably go to Mackenzie Milton, assuming he's as healthy as we've been led to believe. And you're going to see Jordan Travis used in different ways. Last year, he was used in the slot a couple times. He was used in different areas. But I would probably venture to say everybody clamors over him potentially being some sort of receiver in the pros or something, but I don't really see that as, or even like in college, I don't really see that as his position. But I do think he's going to get some snaps and some run, probably at quarterback, and they may do some gadget plays. But I'd imagine most of where he's going to be touching the ball might be as like a change of pace type guy.
Sure.
Kind of like how Florida did it this past year. I know that's probably blasphemous to say.
That's okay.
from
They
FSU
understand.
fans.
They understand.
Trey,
It's okay.
Trey, we've got our first live question here. I want to
Oh, well,
break in with our
pop
first
in.
live question.
Oh,
This is from Barrelhead Rad.
Ooh,
Oh,
Barrelhead Red.
Barrelhead
gnarly.
Red.
Shred the
And
gnar.
this is a question near and dear to my heart. Is Mike Leach the worst coach in history,
Oh
or
my
just
God.
the worst?
Kick him out.
Or
Kick him
just
out.
the
IP
worst
ban.
coach to shove
IP
a kid
ban.
in a closet for days.
Report for hateful
To
content.
what was the second one?
Craig James killed 5 hookers, and his son is a liar. Allegedly. CJK5H allegedly.
Listen,
How dare you? How
I'm going
dare
to say
you?
Mike Leach is hands down the worst coach
It's your
to shove a
hands
kid
down
in a closet for days.
Listen, we can discuss, as a man who's read Swing Your Sword more than one time.
Make that
we
2
can
men.
talk. That's right. We can talk about the shenanigans at Texas Tech and how Mike Leach is the greatest air raid coach, possibly one of the best coaches ever. But let's
Put
just
him in the
move
Hall
on.
of Fame.
Right now, first ballot. Anyway,
I think that was Juan, by the way.
was it okay?
Yeah. All right, so quarterback play. I mean, look, it's gonna
no, let's be normal again. Go ahead.
It's gonna be Milton, right? I mean, it's gonna be.
I think so. Yeah.
He didn't come here to
But
sit.
I think
I know people are worried about is he 100% healthy and all that yada yada yada. But yeah, I mean, I think he's good to go and he's gonna be the guy. There's not really a whole lot of question about it.
Do you agree with Kevin that the majority of Jordan Travis's snaps this year will be at the quarterback position as opposed to kind of playing that Antonio Gibson kind of slash role?
So here's the thing: are they going to give him the Wildcat snaps? That's
him versus
that's
Coaphilly or
Jayshawn Corbin.
Last year we saw them all go to Corbin. They like to be a little more physical down on the goal line with that type. Do we see them? Do we see them do that with Jordan? I don't know. It's tough to tell. I mean, we saw kind of the game plan of what they wanted to do somewhat with Travis, I guess, against Miami. He was lined up all over. I don't think you can waste him on the bench. He can't sit on the bench.
I agree. I agree with that.
He's your most dynamic player on offense. He can't sit on the bench all game.
Put on some weight, 200 pounds. So I don't know how much weight. Maybe bulking up in anticipation of like an expanded role in that way.
That seems like a bit of a giveaway, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we caught it for the observers. All right, Noel_Daddy, Malik McClain. Is he getting any playing time this year? And let's talk about receiver depth in general. I'll toss it out to the ether. Who wants it first?
Go ahead, Kev.
I mean, I touched on it earlier. I think they're all going to get run. I mean, we didn't really have too many serviceable kids last year that could catch the ball consistently. That was a problem. I think Keyshawn Helton shows flashes of ability, but he's supposed to be your older leader now, and last year he just couldn't catch the ball. So I think McClain, Burrell, Hill all have. It's an open book. It's open competition, and I think any one of those three could potentially be your number one receiver this year.
And we are talking about spring, so Destin Hill's not going to be there for the spring.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I kind of think that Malik McClain might get the same amount of snaps that like a Kentron Poitier got last year. Maybe like as far as that number, but there's so much that's unknown at that position. You got all the guys that Kev mentioned. You got some other guys like Brian Robinson. Is this the year that Jordan Young gets consistent? It was third year in the program. Adam is shaking his head in disgust. So I think I know his answer.
Shit or get off the pot.
All right. Yes. Poop. Yes. But I agree. It's always better to poop than hold it in. So we'll see. An interesting situation.
All right. So we got a couple questions from my boy Seven Toms here.
Oh, Jesus. If it's about Mike Leach in a negative manner, just let him know that he's gone.
It's not. He wants to know if Keyshawn Helton's out of the knee brace. I doubt you'll see it. I'm sure maybe there will still be some here early throughout spring, but he's over a year out of that bad knee injury. So I would doubt he's too much of a knee brace going into maybe in spring, but probably not in the season. And then Demore Tate, is he going to be in the mix?
I don't see how he can't be, especially the cornerback position, especially the boundary corner. That's such an important part of Adam Fuller's defense. So the side that's closest to the sideline that we didn't have an answer for last year. Until they get that position right, they're going to keep throwing guys at it. And Demore Tate is going to be in the rotation, I think, no matter what, just because he's so talented. But I think everybody's going to have a crack. I think right now, who are your odds-on favorite to be the 2 starting cornerbacks?
That's a good question. I think it's a great question. I think a lot of people would throw Jarvis Brownlee's name out there. I think my boy Jamie Robinson's going to start in that slot nickel role.
You think so instead of like a buck?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you
I
think
think that
that?
because I think he's a little more physical. I think they want to continue to have that physical presence there, as opposed to just a pure cover guy.
Sure.
He's shown on tape at South Carolina playing safety, but he's shown
Yep.
that he can come up and fit the run real well from that position. So I think they want to be able to keep that physical presence there that can play the run and defend the pass. And then on the outside, I mean, I think if Bam Moore's healthy, and we're going to see again, that's a question mark. He's going to be a starter.
Yeah, he seemed like a boundary kind of guy to me,
Yeah,
just with his
and I mean,
size.
you've got Miko Dotson.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
saw
he was
Dotson
a
out in
guy.
the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't think you can count him out. He's a guy that's kind of been forgotten. Um, I mean, hell, man, there's just so many bodies that they're going to throw at that position.
Could you
It,
potentially see an all transfer secondary?
I don't see
Like
why not. Maybe not
like
safety. Maybe not the
I
safety
mean,
spot.
I don't think you have that many transfers, do you?
yeah, you
I
got
think.
Jarquez McKellion from
Oh,
Arkansas. You got
McClellan. I forgot about him.
Yeah,
McClellion, Bam Moore, Jamie Robinson, and I guess well there's 4, but like you said, there's not enough safeties. I don't think,
yeah,
especially if you
yeah.
think that Jamie's gonna play in that nickel role. But
Yeah, I
you could
personally, I was watching Tate's highlights today, and I mean, he played safety in college or in high school. He's a bigger dude. I mean, I could see him playing buck safety if they needed him there.
you know what's crazy too? We went through all these names, and one of the most hyped, or one of the prospects that people were really excited about coming in from high school is Travis Jay, and we didn't mention him once. Now, he showed flashes of that athleticism that really that was very tantalizing when he came out, like that one-handed interception. I forget against who, but I just remember, Jesus God, that guy's very athletic. Do we see? I guess it's funny, man. It's the year of who takes the step up. Does Travis Jay get consistent? Akeem Dent, 5-star prospect? Is he somebody who finally finds himself? Jarian Jones? Like, there's a lot of questions. I do think that, Kev, I think you were forced to say wide receiver just to make it different, but that secondary battle,
Yep.
that's so intriguing. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of guess where people are going to go, and then you have Hunter Washington coming in, who I think is going to day one be one of your better cover corners.
It's a great point.
And so that mixes everything up again.
Yeah, especially kid that Clemson was in late. So Tom Servo in the Discord, we answered literally every single one of his questions, except let's talk about the linebacker battle. Now, I think that the 2 starters are who I feel like they're kind of solidly in place, right? Like Emmett Rice and then Amari Gaynor, or do you guys see
Yeah.
that differently?
No, I think that. Well, I just wrote the spring preview for linebackers, and I think it's going to be Gainer at the will and Rice at the mic. I think those 2 young guys, Lundy and Dix, are still probably a little stiff, and they're still learning the position. Lundy's only been playing football for 3 years now or something like
Right.
that. So I think that he's got a ways to go. Dix has got to prove he can run and play in space. Yeah, so I think that you got your 2 guys that are kind of going to be entrenched there. Hey, look, Gainer. This is going to be a hot take here.
That's okay. Let's keep it spicy, kid.
Everybody's he's got to be on the field. He's got to be on the field. But we pointed it out multiple times, in our film breakdown. He's not great in the box. He doesn't
Nope.
play well in that tight space, in that role where linemen are coming at you and backs are coming downhill on you. So he's got to prove himself. And I know he's been challenged to be a little more physical and be a little more prepared. As you can see with the weight he keeps posting on his Instagram and stuff like that, he's obviously been challenged. He needs to get bigger to handle that box role. So we're going to see. I'm excited. Obviously he's a dynamic player, but he's got to prove he can hold up physically.
I agree. And Amari Gaynor was most impressive on those plays kind of out in the flats and the edges where he'd sniff out screen plays with that athleticism and kind of snuff them out. Got a little bit washed in the middles when the linemen and everybody were coming at him. But that was that was like a systemic problem with Florida State's linebacker play up until the end of the year. Emmett Rice started to kind of get it together, but it'll be interesting. And if one of those kids, if Steven Dix or DJ Lundy, I'm kind of looking at DJ Lundy more just because he hasn't played a lot of football. If the light switches on for him, I see that kid getting a lot more playing time because with him barely knowing what he was doing last year, he still got on the field quite a lot. Now, obviously, a lot of it was necessity, but the coaches see something in him that they like.
Yeah, I think personally that what's unfortunate about Gaynor and McCray is that they're both these incredible athletes that theoretically look like amazing football players, but in today's modern defense, where do you put them, right? They're going to be a little bit too slow to cover in the slot. They're not quite stout enough to be put in middle linebacker. Theoretically, their best position would be like a 3-4 outside linebacker, which we kind of have in the Fox position, but
they don't hold up. They don't hold up enough well in the run right now to play the Fuller Fox, though, right, guys?
Right. The Fuller Fox is a little bit more of a defensive end than like a traditional 3-4 outside linebacker would be. So I don't know where you put them. I think Gaynor needs to put on 15 pounds and want to hit somebody to be anywhere near the box. I think he has potential at the will, but I'm a little worried that he might look a bit like McCray did out there, where he just was in no man's land a lot of times.
I worry the extra weight. How's his speed with that extra weight? Because we saw him in coverage last year at times. The Jacksonville State game. What's the Jacksonville State they played? That game stands out to me as one where I recall him out in the flats and he looked lost at times. And so look, it's just an area they've got to improve, and I'm sure they're gonna, getting spring is going to be key for them. They're going to get an opportunity to work on that stuff a lot. They know where the deficiencies were. They knew that they sucked in that under coverage, and they got to improve there. So, it's going to be nice for them to work at it. But look, these are big question marks.
Well, it's going to be the true test of Josh Storms' strength and conditioning program. The guys have put on weight, but how functional is that weight? How well can they move with that weight? So that'll be something to definitely keep an eye on.
Well, do they still want to hit anybody with that weight?
Yeah.
It doesn't change you as a player.
That's a great, yes.
10 more pounds.
I agree. We have to get more violent.
All right, Trey, we got another one here.
Okay.
Jimmy Vance. All right, this is everybody's popular question.
Oh, boy.
How much better does the defense have to be in order for Fuller to keep his job?
6.
6 what?
6 better.
So vague. 6 better. 6
better. What?
How good does that have to be? Lamp.
Final answer.
I love Lamp.
There you go, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, 6.
No, I'd say when you're looking at like a defensive S&P, what were they like in the 70s and 80s this year? I think you got to have like a top 40-ish defense, and it's got to be part of at least a 6-win program. If it's another one of those things where you can clearly see guys out of position again, getting gashed in the run game over and over by the same concepts, failure to line up, miscommunication between the levels of the defense, I think he's on a pretty short leash.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because Norvell really hasn't in his tenure hired any duds. So how does he handle having to get rid of a coach? We really haven't seen that. Most coaches leave and go to bigger and better things, but we haven't really seen him have to get rid of somebody necessarily.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't think they're going to put a number like Norvell's not going to go in and say, "Oh, we've got to have a top 50 defense," or I think that what they're going to be looking for is he's just going to be looking for competent play. Like they obviously invested a lot of resources in getting guys to come in, rush the passer, defend the pass. They knew where they needed to kind of get after this thing, and they had no pass rush last year, and that's not Adam Fuller's fault, but they also couldn't get lined up. There was a ton of miscommunication. So those are things that I'm sure they know they're going to be working on. They know they got to get fixed. But look, it's a short leash, and he deserves to be on that leash because of the historically bad defense that they put out last year. And I've been a big proponent of keeping Adam Fuller around in that consistency, and we'll see what it does for him. But yeah, this is an important spring for them.
Well, and you could see it was a coordinated effort. the amount of time and energy that it took for all of the transfers basically are on the defensive side of the ball. Almost every single one, minus Mackenzie Milton, a running back, and then Andrew Parchment, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all defense. And now that's because they knew it was bad, but
Yeah,
that's also showing that it's time to put up or shut up. It's time to do what you got to do, and we'll see. We looked a lot last year on the triple option film where Adam Fuller was calling situationally the right plays a lot of the time. The execution was just bad, and the tackles were missed. It was one guy not doing his job that would have taken a 2-yard loss and turned it into a 40-yard gain. So we'll see. But with all that being said, Mike Norvell knows that his goodwill is being run out. He knows that he's got to capitalize on this good recruiting momentum that he's got, and you got to put out a Florida. It's not going to be a Florida State quality caliber defense of old. They're just not there yet, but it can't be such a glaring Achilles heel like it was this year.
No. It doesn't need to be a strength, but it darn sure better be something that you can depend on to get you a couple stops a game anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good way to phrase it. A question from Phenomic. He wants to ask a loaded question. Well, those are my favorite. Why is FSU going to be better than people expect? Okay, so he thinks they're going to be better than people expect. So that's a good question about expectations. What do you think is the general fan consensus expectation, and what are your expectations for next year? Now, obviously, these are subject to change after spring.
Well, they've already changed after squat party, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yours, yeah, you've got the squat party. You got the squat party bonus. Kevin, what are your expectations? Like, what do you think the general consensus of the fan base is, and what's yours?
Can we define general fan? Is general fan the lunatics that are spending their time right now listening to us, or is general fan like
we have the most informed, educated, and handsome fan base in the entire history of college football. I'm talking about like your drunk Uncle Pat that like is in a Facebook NOL group and rants.
So I think they expect us to win like 8-9 games next year. The average fan is probably like, I'm being reasonable. I'm an FSU fan. We normally expect national championship, but I'm gonna lower my expectations to 9 wins. Realistically, 5 or 6 wins is where I see us at. Our schedule next year is
tough.
It's tough, right? So.
Yeah.
You have to base everything off that. You're not gonna. What's the saying? You lose big, then you lose small. You win small, then you win big. Next year's a lose small kind of year, and no matter the transfers or whatever, that should be a goal.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Kev. I hate agreeing with Kevin, but
it's okay. Some maybe will feel nice.
You had
give it a chance.
I mean, I'm at like 6 and what is it? 7 and 6. That kind
6
of
6 and 6 with
there.
a bowl game.
Yeah, 6 and 6 with a bowl game. I'm in that ballpark. I think that's probably a good starting point. We'll see what happens. Look, you brought in some guys that I think maybe got a little underrated by 24/7's transfer rankings there, but
Jermaine Johnston,
yeah, that was just stupid. But you've only got them, most of those guys, for a year. We'll see. I think that, like Kev said, the schedule's a bear. I mean, it just sucks. You're playing Notre Dame, Clemson, Miami, who's gonna still be up for at least for another year, and then Florida to close it out. And Florida's looks like a sinking ship somewhat. Dan Mullen looks like he's got 2 feet out the door, and God knows if they have a quarterback that can play football or not. But Notre Dame looks like it could be a competitive game there early, depending on what you get out of Milton and what kind of development the O-line makes. But now I'm sounding like a general fan here.
That's okay. It happens. See, we're just all fans anyway.
Look, I think that the transfers bring a lot of hope, and they bring a lot of positivity for us. And seeing the squat party brings a lot of positivity, and we'll see with the spring, and hopefully the spring game's dynamic and explosive and real fun. But yeah, I mean, I think that there is a need to kind of stay realistic that this is a team that's still got a ways to go. This is a long rebuild. We still have an O-line that's got some deficiencies, and they've got some young pieces, and we're excited about them, but they're not ready yet. So
No,
we'll
and
see.
it was one
We'll
of
see.
those things where Alex Atkins did a great job, especially in the run game when it was straight up pass pro with a running quarterback.
Ooh,
Oh,
Fiddle
no.
Griddle in the house, boys.
He's back.
Griddle.
What's
Griddle
up?
in the house.
What's up? Hey,
He-
man.
and
What has he
listen,
got?
looking cute tonight, Kevin. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, hey,
Griddle.
Fiddle Griddle.
Hey, now.
I'm married,
Oh,
but
man. Well, it's all right. I can see
Are
you got a
you-
high resolution camera. You are blushing.
oh yeah. I mean,
Fiddle Griddle has turned up the heat in the kitchen. Look at him. He's flustered.
shout out to my dad's GoPro I'm using as a webcam now.
That's all right. Well, Fiddle
All right.
Griddle likes it.
So we do have a question from Derek Russo. I think this is the D Russo from the Tomahawk Nation boards.
Oh, sup,
The
dog?
all famous D Russo. By the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Russo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how effective has Norvell's regime, not him personally, obviously, been in getting the bagmen back on board? I don't know if we could talk bagmen up in here, baby.
I've given my 2 cents.
When?
I think the bags be
program.
flowing. I think the bags be flowing.
It's enough. Yeah, there's enough fake jobs at car dealerships and like stupid doodles being bought on Etsy. Like it's open. I mean, the bags will be open more when they're good. But
Stupid doodles being
Yeah,
bought
check out
on
my
Etsy?
Etsy
Is that a-
fake,
is that a bagman strategy?
I think so. If not,
Etsy
trademark and
bag.
give me half of your
We're the
take.
most artistic team in the country.
Oh my oh my god. Yeah, there's no, I mean, logically, I don't know for a fact. You can't really generate momentum with some of the kids, 2 5-stars in the 2022 class right now alone without having without having the proper tools in your tool bag, I guess. It's not full on. We're not in Kim Dichi mode yet, but who knows? Maybe we will be. If
We're
start
not dropping
winning.
McDonald's bags, but maybe we're dropping Hardee's bags. I don't know.
Carl's Jr. Yeah,
Carl's
I don't know.
Jr.
Yeah, so we're not there yet, but no, Norvell knows how to talk to boosters. He succeeded in Memphis. He talks like a preacher, man, but he knows how to be a sleazeball. Like he won at Memphis.
My man got a 5-star commit when he's at a booster tour.
He
So
knows.
you
Come
tell
on.
me. You tell me bags flowing?
He knows the game. He knows the game.
yeah, I think so.
Norvell, he's no choir boy. So War Chant 72, he wants to know the biggest impact player on offense and defense that we're going to predict,
Tate Rodemaker.
excluding Milton, if he's healthy. And I don't know if he means for the
Tate
spring.
Rodemaker.
Let's do for the spring. So take
Okay.
out all the guys that are going to be integrated in fall ball. Who do you think is going to be the biggest who's going to be the guy that makes fans unjustly excited after spring ball on both sides? Kevin, go first. Fiddle Griddle wants to see your pretty face.
Oh no. I mean, I'll just steal. I'm not going to steal Adam's answers. I can already tell you who he's going to answer. I'll go off the beaten trail a little bit. I think Toa Philly on offense is going to be the guy. He was PFF graded him out as our number one offensive player last year. So I don't see where
nice.
that trend doesn't continue. And then on defense, I can tell you that AB's going to list some unnamed defensive end, but I'll take. I don't know. I'll take Damori Tate. I think he's been around the program, but people haven't seen him. And he's just got a lot of talent and a lot of ability, and I think he can play multiple positions in the secondary. So I think, in the same way that Travis J came out last year and people were surprised at his athleticism and his ability to be kind of put anywhere on the field, I think you'll see a similar thing with Tate.
Right. So you did the RKO out of nowhere factor. Like this guy's just coming out of nowhere. He's grabbing your neck and he's driving you through a table.
Right, because
I think that's very strategic.
Yeah.
Is
Adam?
it my turn now?
Yeah.
Go for it, AB.
Come on, that was a good answer.
Those were good answers.
Kevin,
Great
those were
answers.
good answers.
Thanks,
They were great
guys.
answers. Cam McDonald for me on offense. I just think
Fun.
Yeah, we know that Norvell wants to utilize a tight end. I mean, he's a dynamic player. There's going to be not quite as much pressure on him this year with hopefully, you got Preston Daniels going to be back for year 2 and, a little more fit. I know he's not on scholarship yet, but, he's a guy that looked like he could play a little bit. Wyatt Rector's put some weight on. It looks like he's maybe going to be a little more prepared to kind of help out in that 3-back role. I think they're going to they're going to find themselves being able to actually utilize Cam McDonald out wide more as a receiving type than they probably were able to last year. So McDonald on offense, and then on defense, he's a guy that's completely unheralded, and he got hurt last year. But I just think Renardo Green is maybe the most important player. He's the most important player on defense, but I
Wow.
think he's the most important player in the
Wow.
secondary.
Mm.
I
I
think
like that.
I
Yeah,
think he
people do
writes
not talk
everything
about
for
him
them back
enough.
there. No, I think he writes everything on that back end. I think he gets everybody in a position where they need to be, and he can cover like a corner at that field safety spot. That we know how important that is in today's game.
That is a kid who was not highly ranked, really, kind of middle of the pack, not really heralded by the fan base. But man, he saw the field early, and every time he's healthy, he is on the field at one of those safety spots. So I
Yep.
think that's a good pick, Adam. I like that. I didn't think you were going to say that. All right.
I'm so smart.
You're so. That's why you're the favorite at Tomahawk Nation.
Let's
Ooh.
see.
Number one.
All right. TJ43.
Hey, Tej.
Hey, brother. He has two questions. The first one we answered. The second one, it's a bit deeper. Oh, we like it. We like it deep, Teach. Okay. Oops.
Keep it
Weird.
kid-friendly.
Explicit warning. Do y'all think Norvell can be a long-term answer for FSU? Does his system lend to competing for a national championship?
Does Kirby Smart's system lend to winning a national championship? I mean, in 1983, maybe, but he's still up at the top. It's about, can you bring in talent? And I think Norvell has already taken a step to prove that. He can bring in talent and he can develop talent, and so then it's just getting lucky to get to the top.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question. Go ahead, Trey. You can drop
I
some knowledge.
think that he can, but he needs to win this year. He needs to win this year. He's shown that that the staff is a pretty good recruiting staff, which was my biggest question mark, just with the early momentum that they've got from these kids. I think if he does not win this year, if for whatever reason the transfers don't click, Mackenzie Milton's leg falls off, like just some catastrophic thing that maybe is even out of the guy's control, or maybe he just coached them poorly this year and it's a 4-win season, I don't really think Mike Norvell has a chance to get an extension and win a national championship. So I do think he's got the system. It's not a gimmicky system. It's a very versatile system. They're very multiple. It's able to adapt to what the defense does. He's got a successful history of hiring coaches. He's very organized as far as his system. He seems to be a good recruiter. He can yuck it up with the rich bag folks. Like he's got all of the qualities that a successful, potentially national championship winning head coach has. But if he doesn't win this year, he's not going to get enough time to fully implement it. So I think, yes, he definitely can, but he's got to win this year because so much hinges on it. And I'm not talking like winning 8 or 9. He's got to get 6 this year, I think. Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know if it really matters what he does from this point because he's not going to get the time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that I have some concerns that he doesn't make it to the end of his contract, or that he doesn't get to see the fruits of his labor of getting some of the talent that he's going to get in here. That year 4, whatever it is, that they're going to just let him walk. We'll see. This is obviously, in my opinion, a make or break year, and Trey kind of saying the same thing here. I think he's got what it takes to win a title. Whether he's got what it takes to win a title at Florida State, we're going to find out. He's still kind of a young head coach. So he's still learning a lot of stuff. I like what Mike says. I like how he talks. I like how he presents the whole climb thing. It's very Jimbo-esque with his organization, stuff like that. He's got to prove that he can land the big gun recruits that win you titles, because that's ultimately what it boils down to.
Right.
Any of these guys will tell you that it's all about the talent. It's not about the crap that they're doing. It's about the guys that they can bring in and roll out there on the field. So that's going to be the name of the game for him, and we're going to see whether he can. It's great that he's got this top 10 class for 2022, but it's real early, and they got to finish. They got to finish. They got to put a product on the field this year, and I think that we've seen that he's got the foresight to go get these transfers, to know what he's got coming at him at 2022. So, all that stuff lends itself to say that he's the kind of coach that can win a title. But it's got to happen. It's got to happen this year. You got to win
And
6
I
or
want to
7.
add something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a very similar mindset to you guys of like, hey, this Florida State fan base is going to be very impatient in general and push him out if there's not immediate success. But the way he's been able to turn around the optimism of this fan base after what, a 3-win season,
That's very true. Yeah.
gives me hope that maybe he can buy himself enough time to really turn this thing around, because there's no way I would have thought that people would be this optimistic about FSU football 6 months ago.
That's fair. Now, he's also got the benefit of we don't have the money to can him early. So I guess I want to amend my previous statement that I don't think he's going to get fired after this year if they win like 3 or 4 games. I just don't think his chances of winning a national championship or even a conference championship are really out the window without continuing the momentum that he's built. But that's a great point, Kev. Like, you got 2 5-stars in your class right now. You've got really, really the other guys in the class are very talented. He's very adept at talent evaluation. That's something in his game that I think needs to be praised more and brought up more.
Yeah.
So he's got all the tools. So yeah, that's a good point. So it's a tough question. We take him head on here at the triple option.
All right, I got a tough one for Kev coming from the chat here. I actually got 2 really tough ones for Kev.
Oh, who thinks he's sexy now?
All right, so the first one, and this is for Kev only. This is for Kev only. All right. Does Mike Leach ever have a chance at winning a real conference championship?
A real conference?
Yeah.
The Big 12 isn't a real conference?
I don't think so. They don't play actual football. All right.
Okay.
On to actual football. How many touchdowns will Rodemaker rush for this season? That's from your boy Fiddle Griddle.
How many touchdowns will Rodemaker run for this season? Are we counting practice or games?
You can count both. How about both? And let me see what your answer is.
If we count both, I'll give him half.
Oh, half? What the how's that happen?
Your numbers answers tonight are just tripping me out. How good's the defense got to be 6?
He hands it to someone who runs in for a touchdown.
All right,
that's half
so
half
in all serious, our favorite analytical person in the whole entire world, same. He is dropping. He asked to talk to me about Alfred. So the new booster president. What are our thoughts? What are our thoughts so far on the things that we've kind of seen, heard, all the above?
Every hire that they've made, with maybe the exception of one, outside of the football office, they've really been home runs. Like Bruce Warwick, Michael Alfred especially. That might have been the best hire that has been made, including everyone. That guy has put a lot of excitement behind Seminole boosters. He's very personable. He understands that really what you're selling as a booster is the experience. Like there's always talk about game day experience as a booster, letting the people know what their money goes to, how important it is. There's been a lot of comparison on how Florida State stacks up to other fan bases, and he's doing his job, bro. He's a money vacuum. So listen, the guy was running around with like Texas oil men and getting all their money. The guy is very good. He's very good. And I'm interested to see if being the president of Seminole Boosters is his terminus. Is that where he ultimately wants to end up? There are some pretty high profile jobs at Florida State that are about to become open here pretty soon. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I can't say anything negative so far. It seems like it's all been working. Now, do they hit their end of year booster goals? We'll see. There's been a lot of cool plans and architectural designs. Do any of those big facilities projects come to fruition? We'll see. But I mean, I don't think even objectively, I don't think you can say anything negative about what he's done so far.
Yeah. Pledges do not equal cash in hand, by the way.
That's right.
Everybody, they keep talking about pledges. I would get excited when money's in hand, but I guess that, there's a lot of talk that they're going to maybe break ground on that football only facility post this upcoming football season. So you got to be kind of excited when you hear those things. I agree though, Trey, that I think he's been probably the best hire that they've made. He's just brought the grassroots back to that booster organization.
Yeah.
They really needed They really needed to rely more on the everyday fan that wants to support the team, but just hasn't been made to feel part of things. You know what I mean? Like,
There's better communication around what levels that you can get into, and there's just better communication to the fan base in general. The guy will mix it up. He's chop it up on podcasts, do interviews, do this, do that, active on social media. He gets what he understands how to take rich people's money in 2021, and I respect it.
you think he'd come watch some film with us?
I know he listens. I mean, listen, the entire athletic department and all those guys listen.
How do you think
listen,
we're funding
Mike,
this?
I know you're on. Is Mike Fiddlegriddle? Listen, Fiddlegriddle, Mike Alford. If you would like to come watch some film with us, open invite, my friend. Seemed like a delightful gentleman. And Kev will talk to you for 5 minutes by himself on the Zoom chat after we're done.
Yeah, there we go. That's how we get the money. That's what
right.
pays
Offer
for my
you can't
dad's
refuse.
GoPro here.
He's a face guy.
He's a face guy.
So the last questions we have are related to food and pro wrestling. Are there any other live ones? Do we want to get to any other? Any other?
Yeah,
ones?
I got one here from Daigatsu. I
love him. Yeah. If he's not, admonish him.
What unit do you guys feel will be the most improved this year, and why?
I think the wide receivers are going to be the most improved, and a lot of that has to do with how bad they were last year. There was a whole plethora of reasons why the wide receivers were uninspiring in 2020, and I think they make a huge leap in 2021. There's going to be a lot of competition. You're going to have a quarterback who's going to be looking to throw first rather than run. Now, it's not a knock on Jordan Travis. I think given with all of the issues that Florida State's offense had last year, he did the absolute best that he could do. Mackenzie Milton plays a different style. He's going to get a lot of the wide receivers involved, and he's going to make them accountable to run the right routes, know where they have to be, because the ball is going to be delivered there consistently over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's the easy answer, and it goes back to the other. No offense. No, I think that's.
That's fine.
That's the answer I think everybody should say, because, I mean, what? Chubba Purdy went out there last year and had like an 0 for 9 performance.
Watch your freaking mouth.
All 9 balls hit the receiver's hands. Like, they were good balls.
Okay.
Look at that steam coming out of his face.
Kev with a compliment for Chubba?
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you can run a vague route and catch the football, like, it's an improvement. But the secondary, I think, is another good answer. But I kind of want to talk about linebackers. I think that Emmett Rice at the end of the season was a different guy than he was at the beginning of the season. And if we can have end-of-season Emmett Rice for a full season, I think you'll see a totally different linebacker group.
Can I stay kicker?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I don't talk about special teams.
Triple option. Oh, they don't exist.
It's a waste of time. I'm going to say it's going to be the offensive line. And I know
they're going to improve the most.
Yeah, and I know that they probably improved the most last year too, but I really think you've got some young guys that are going to continue. Look, Darius Washington got an offseason this year. Lucas got an offseason this year. You're going to get Devontae Love-Taylor back as a 6-year guy. You've got some young guys that are Robert Scott gets an offseason to get bigger, faster, stronger. Schrader's got an offseason to get bigger, faster, stronger. You get Bavion back. You get Mo Smith with an offseason. I think that the ceiling is starting to look a little bit high there for the O-line, and I do expect them to take another big jump.
We did not go over this, and I didn't even want to touch it or throw it to Kevin. I want to give it right to you, Adam. Who is Coach AB's projected starting 5 on the offensive line for the spring? Go left tackle to right tackle.
For the spring?
Yeah. Well, whatever. I get. Who do you think is going to be the starting 5 in 2021? Go ahead.
Oh, sugar. All right. I'm just going to do the spring because I don't know when Devontae Love-Taylor's coming back, when he's going to be fully healthy from that. And we believe it to be a knee injury, but nothing was ever actually reported. So I think Darius Washington's going to be your left tackle, Lucas your left guard, center is going to be Maurice Smith, right guard's going to be Bavion Johnson again, and right tackle is going to be Robert Scott.
Who is the odd man out when DLT comes back?
Probably Bavion.
Okay, so you think then who's the guy who's sliding to the end? Do you think DLT is going to be right guard then?
Mhm.
Like we're just all projecting here.
Or they flop Lucas and DLT. They put DLT at left guard
Okay,
and
but as a
put Lucas
guard,
over right guard. Yeah.
I'll be interested. Yeah, Darius Washington, you're very high on him, right?
I do like his game. And look, I
Yeah.
mean, he had a shoulder surgery last year. The kid didn't get a chance to lift. At some point, that impacts your ability to play.
Do you think we're going to get
Yeah.
any surprises along the offensive line?
Surprises? I
Yeah.
mean, you mean like somebody coming in here in the second half of like a transfer or something? Or
No, I think
No,
you
no,
mean
no. I
somebody
mean,
we haven't
like-
talked about, like a Zane, like a Thomas Schrader, or like a Zane
I
Herring.
mean, I
like a
really
surprise starter.
like Thomas Schrader. I don't think we're going to get a surprise starter, but I think we're going to see Herring play. We're going to see Thomas Schrader play. I mean, those guys they've got to play. You've got to get them reps. You got to get them time in there. Hell, I think Rod Orr's going to play this year. So
Wow.
I don't
Really?
I don't see a reason to not play him at some point. Just get him some burn. I'm not saying like crucial minutes
Gotcha.
but I think you get it. I think you got to get him some snaps.
Yeah, well, he's a developmental prospect. There's no better development than in-game reps, so that'll be interesting. I do think that if there is going to be like a surprise like starter like against Notre Dame,
Mhm.
I think it's got a better chance of happening in the interior. I think the tackles it'll be Washington, Scott, or DLT. I think what could be interesting is if you see, I know there was talks of Love Taylor like repping out at center. Does that push Maurice Smith to guard? I think the interior, tackles are what everybody wants to talk about, and rightly so. It's been rough. It's been rough for Florida State fans, but I think if there's anything that's really interesting, it's going to happen in the interior.
Yeah,
as far as
I would
surprises go.
I tend to agree with that.
All right. Any more football questions before I ask you some food and wrestling?
I got nothing.
All right. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging with us. All right, boys. Bone in or boneless wings? Bob Pear wants to know. I feel like this is very easy. So if you all say what I want you to say, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. So go ahead, Kevin. I feel like Kevin has weird food takes. I've never talked to him about food. I feel like you do weird food stuff.
I have weird dietary restrictions, so I don't eat
There we
grain.
go.
Oh,
There we
my
go.
God.
Gluten boy.
Not gluten.
He eats soy wings.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
my favorite is the boneless soy wings. When you have bone in the soy, it really messes it up.
Imitation
It
bone.
really takes you out of the experience.
Can you eat wings? Do you have a favorite wing?
Yeah, I can eat non-breaded wings.
All right. Do you like boneless? Do you like
Nah,
okay, so you like
put a bone in there.
So there you go, like a man, bone it in. All right, now go ahead, Adam. Bone in or bone out?
All right, so it depends on the night.
Oh, you're the weird one. Okay, good.
I'm not weird. If I'm feeling lazy and I just want to pop 60 or 70 wings on a night, a good boneless wing is okay. But I have to eat. But the bone-in wing is the superior wing. I mean, I don't think anybody. I know that there's one idiot out there. Love you, Nate Greer, but there's one guy out there that likes his boneless wings. But the bone-in wing is the way to go.
So bone in, absolutely superior. I don't understand the boneless like hate though. Like
Those
it's like
are
it's
chicken
a
nuggets,
nugget.
bro.
Yeah, they're delicious. Who doesn't love a chicken nugget?
It's
They're
just
just-
popcorn. It's just
Like a 3-year-old eats.
popcorn chicken with sauce on it.
Yeah, it's just a saucy nug. I love saucy nugs. So listen, I'm a bone in guy, and I prefer flats. I feel like they're
You're a
easier.
flats
Yep.
guy.
Yeah, because you take the little the fibula, and it gives
Trey,
you
I gotta
it
admit,
gives you the tibia, and you get blue
Nah,
cheese. I like blue cheese because I'm an adult.
I like imagine I'm like a giant at a Renaissance fair.
What,
just
so what's
taking down a
your favorite sauce? Are you a hot wing guy? Or?
I'm a medium buff guy. I'm a medium buff, and I also enjoy a nice like teriyaki, like a nice
Oh, I'm a
sesame
sucker
like
for teriyaki.
out of there. Just hitting that blue cheese, get one of those little like moldy little chunks on top of it, and let's go to the face. 40.
Teriyaki.
Grow
and
up,
ranch.
okay, nugget bitch.
Nuggets. Watch it.
I like the old, I don't know if you folks out there in Iowa know what Old Bay is, but the Old Bay wing.
Oh my gosh.
That's my
How
go-to.
Listen,
Delaware are you?
I'm from.
you just, like,
listen,
sit
I'm
out
from
and- Pull up crabs all day. Put some old,
Oh, I love
old
crabs. Are you
bay.
kidding me?
trapper. I'm a trapper.
Making some
Crab trapper.
chata.
Nothing better than some crabs, man.
Just
Listen,
watching
I am
some
from Florida,
1973
so
wing tee football.
I do know what
Wing
Old
tee.
Bay is. I don't use it much anymore. It's tough. We're landlocked. I eat a lot of freshwater fish. That was good. That worked out well. All right.
Old Bay
So
Bigs
Sam,
or seeds are good. Go for it.
Old Bay what?
Like Bigs, sunflower seeds.
Okay. All right.
Are you-
I'm down with that.
Are you allowed to eat those on your dietary restriction?
Yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
organic.
Okay.
Organic.
All right. They're organic.
As an organic chemist, I can only eat
Underrated
organic
snack.
food.
Blue Diamond makes a wasabi soy dusted almond.
Oh my god.
Delicious. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right. So this is a pro wrestling question. You have no idea what it's about. So I'm going to just skip it, even though Sam Tashida, the Shockmaster debut in WCW, is still the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened. What is each of your personal either favorite pro wrestler or favorite pro wrestling moment?
Go ahead, Kev.
All right, so I've got a pro wrestler favorite, and it's the only
God,
pro
I knew
wrestler
it.
I would actually go out of my way to watch when I was a kid.
Go ahead.
And I'll still look up like highlights of him. But the Boogeyman, he would
Oh, the Worm Eater. That's
he would
your
trap
favorite
someone in
wrestler.
a corner and then drop worms on their face out of his mouth. It was awesome. It was just
Can you eat
pure
worms?
spectacle.
Is that
Oh,
on your
yeah,
diet?
100% protein. I can do it.
The Boogeyman is your favorite wrestler.
Oh yeah, it's like
I love it. I love it, dude.
And then favorite moment is that like you know that GIF of I don't know who it is, but it's some
I could-
dude in the
Uh-huh.
crowd, and he's wearing a mask of himself. And when the guy comes in, he like pushes like his opponent comes in, he like pushes him, and he's like shocked that a fan would push him. And then he takes
Yeah.
off his mask, and it's the same exact thing under the mask. I don't. It cracks me up every time. I don't know.
The one of my favorite is like WCW. There was like a fake Sting, and then the
Oh, yeah.
fake Sting revealed his mask, and it was like, oh, it's a real Sting.
Yeah,
My
that's
God,
exactly
it's
what it
Sting.
is. That's it.
Yeah, the fake Sting. Yeah, that's a wonderful moment.
Black
That's a
and
great
white
pick.
face paint.
And you only know it from the GIF on the internet.
Yep, that's the only reason I know it, and it cracks me up
Yeah.
every time.
I remember watching that live.
It reminds me of that one GIF of the dude with a bucket on his head running around like cars and stuff, and then another dude gets out and knocks the bucket off, and there's a bucket underneath the bucket. That gets me. I don't know why. It gets me every time.
Oh my god.
Adam, who's your favorite?
My favorite wrestler is definitely not Chris Jericho. That freaking turd.
You're a cave
look,
troll. You're a
I'm
cave troll that lives
I
nowhere.
am. I am. I'm an Undertaker guy. I mean, I love
of
love
course.
Undertaker. I remember when Undertaker showed up to WWF. I mean, I can still picture him going on. What was it? Dr. Love? Was that the
Brother Love.
Brother Love? There you go, Brother Love. I remember him going on Brother Love with Paul Bearer. I can remember, way
Yeah,
back in the day.
that's good.
And
That's
it- and
early
I-
90s.
Yeah, I
Man,
mean,
come on, man. I was born in '83. Come on, man. I was watching.
So was your favorite Undertaker the first Undertaker, or did you like Kid Rock bouncer Undertaker that was
Oh,
like in the
that
early
was-
2000s?
that was atrocious. I don't know
Ah,
what the hell.
eh,
was going on
big
there.
bad.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. And my favorite moment is when Shawn Michaels put Marty Jannetty through beefcakes.
Oh, that's good. That's good TV. And then the
See?
brain is like, look
Yep.
at Janetti. He's a coward. He tried to run away.
The guy's freaking bloodied.
He tried to jump through the window. Yeah, that's great. That's great. The Jericho slander makes me sad because he's my favorite pro wrestler of all time. Second is definitely Randy Savage. I love the way the Macho Man talks. The pukesters to the left, brother, and the pukesters to the right. I loved him. There's a great story about Macho Man Randy Savage. He was in a feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, and Jake was gonna have Macho Man get bitten by a cobra. I don't know if you've seen like the famous clip, right? He gets
Oh,
tied
yeah.
up in the ropes, and the snake just chews the piss out of his arm, just like gah, 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 gah. So it was a devenomized cobra, right? Or that's what Jake the Snake Roberts told him. So in the locker room, they meet up, and Macho Man was very famous about being paranoid. And he goes, "Hey Jake, what's the deal with that snake, brother? Is it a gimmick snake?" And he goes, yeah, it's fine, Randy. There's no venom in it. He goes, all right, well, you know what you're going to have to do for me, brother? You're going to have to let the snake bite you. He goes, what? And he goes, yeah, snake bites you, snake's gonna bite you, brother. It's fine. You know, it's snake for a snake. Come on. So he made Jake the Snake Roberts take the cobra and like bite the shit out of him in the locker room to make sure that he wasn't trying to kill him out in the middle of like live television with the venomized snake.
Lord, that's special.
Is
Yeah.
Jake the Snake the guy from It's Always Sunny?
That is Rowdy Piper, who is in my top 5. A wonderful man, wonderful actor. Go see They Live by John Carpenter.
I'm here to
One of the best movie
kick
fight
ass
scenes
and
of all
chew
time.
bubble gum.
And we're all out of gum, and we're all out of time.
Yes, sir.
Boys, I loved it. Great show.
Yeah,
Guys watching, I love you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. I stopped looking at like comments like at the beginning, so I hope that it looked good. I hope it was watchable, and if not, whatever, it's free. Deal with it. But we love you. Subscribe. Tell your friends about X's and nOles. Tell them about Triple Option. Anything you want to say to the people before we wrap it up, boys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were up around 50, 55 people at one point, which is great. We appreciate all the support all you guys bring to our show. You know, I know guys from the No Game Day Discord were in here showing some love tonight, which is great. Yep, we support you guys too. The Tomahawk Nation Discord was in here. You know, all of our Twitter followers and YouTube follows. So we just appreciate all the support you guys do. We're gonna keep trying to find ways to bring you fresh content and just keep this stuff fun, keep it light.
That's right. We're open. We're open to experiment. We're gonna do some fun stuff. We got some talented guys, but check us out, brother, because this is the end of one Triple Option. But get ready, because you're gonna snap into another one. Spring ball. The madness returns. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Oh, I got to chop. I forgot to chop. Damn it. Forgot to chop. All right. Are we still streaming so I don't say anything that